Let's get the mic pulled down here. What's happening, everybody? It is Dog Bowl week. It is the last week of best ball season. It is Battle Royale week 14. If you guys haven't already, check out the video before this one. If you guys want to see me breaking down the slate for week 14, we do have a little bit of updates going through the slate. But until then, I do want to make sure that we get those updates out to you guys. But on top of this, we're going to break down the Dog Bowl drafts that did happen tonight. Underdog did just, in fact, post them. So we are going to be going through those, breaking them down, seeing what everybody did, and maybe some strategy going in through these drafts as well. If you guys are new here, as I said before, smash the like button, subscribe down below. I'll see you guys in a bit. All right. So we're not going to be showing too much here. I do have some pick'ems up I was doing a little bit ago. We aren't going to really show a whole lot here. Battle Royale, it is 62% of the way full. Goal line stand, not very full, 40.5%. Those should fill, I would think, by tomorrow, but we'll see. We are going to go on the Twitter machine here and show off kind of what the drafts are looking like. So as you can see, I did upload it on Twitter to kind of see where everything was. Let me know if you guys can see this okay. If not, we will figure out a different way to do this. I think this should be okay. I think I might be able to do something like this to where... Does this work for everybody? Can you all see this better, or is this better? This is probably the best way to do it. And I can kind of read off what the picks are in the bottom left-hand corner there. Let's see. This actually probably works the best. So we're going to go with this and just kind of rock out with it. All right. So Joka gets pick 1. Austin Ravens fan 2. Jacob Pladson 3. Dave at 4. Woo Doggy at 5. Crutches gets the 6th pick. Alberson 847 gets the 7th pick. Edian 38. A-Train 469. Sobe 10. Beretta gets the 11th pick, and GB Packer Girl rounding it out at 12. So we're going to go through the board here, discuss it a little bit, see what we can do with each of these boards. Number 1, obviously, is McCaffrey. I believe McCaffrey went number 1 in all 3 of these. That's been the consensus all week. We are going to pop one open real quick here. As we are not in Miami, we are stuck in Little Town, Indiana. So, it is what it is. But anyways, Christian McCaffrey going number 1 off the board in all 3 drafts. That's not a surprising thing whatsoever. Has a great matchup against the Seahawks. Has been the number 1 pick pretty much the majority of the year. And on top of everything else, I feel like this is just a boom matchup for Christian McCaffrey. ETR also had him as the number 1 ranked player. So that is pretty self-explanatory as to why he's number 1. I'm not really going to spend too much time there. Alvin Kamara at 2. I am going to pull up the run rankings real quick here. Alvin Kamara has made a late surgence into the top 2 spots. I just checked it earlier today, and he actually was, in fact, in the top 2 as far as projections go, and the UD Battle Royale rankings, if you guys haven't already looked at these. Kamara is the number 2 guy, which is interesting because my ownership of him this week is about even with the field. Good matchup against Carolina. We do have Derek Carr, so we don't have to worry about Jameis Winston flinging the ball down the field. I personally feel like that's better for Alvin Kamara. He's going to get the volume. I think it's an interesting pick to take at number 2, especially. I don't hate it though. Travis Kelce going at 3. No surprises there. Nothing to really speak about with Travis Kelce. Good matchup against the Bills. I think this game might be a little bit lower scoring than I initially had thought. I'm kind of steering away from the quarterbacks. I don't know that there's going to be a big discrepancy between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, we'll say. I don't know how big of a gap that's really going to be. We'll talk about that in a minute. The ceilings, though, obviously Josh Allen has a much higher ceiling. So Keenan Allen at pick 4. That is ETR's number 1 wide receiver. And if you go through and look at all these drafts, as a matter of fact, Keenan Allen went way ahead of ADP. That's definitely different from the BRs. We typically see Keenan Allen go the second round. This has him as a top 4 pick. Keenan Allen is probably my most owned wide receiver this week. So that is something to take into consideration as well whenever you're looking at this. You know, that's kind of crazy. So I get it. I do, because I definitely like Keenan. Oh, he's been the most consistent out of these guys so far, which is, I never thought I'd be saying that at the beginning of the year, but I do love the Keenan Allen pick here from Dave. So that is a great pick. Justin Jefferson, moving on to number 5. That is a ballsy place to take Justin Jefferson. I don't know that I'm taking him that early, but I do get it. I'm going to put on some lo-fi music real quick here, kind of turn it down. Okay, there we go. I do understand it, but I'm not a huge advocate for it. I haven't been taking Justin Jefferson nearly as much as probably I should. I am even with the field, or maybe slightly lower than the field. It's kind of where I'm at with him. Stephon Diggs, I do like his matchup this week. He's probably my second favorite receiver on the slate this week, behind Keenan. But I figure if Stephon Diggs is getting there, Josh Allen's probably getting there, if I had to take a guess. But in theory, I'm also looking for the ceiling of this game, and the ceiling is like a 50-point total. I think that Stephon Diggs is a guy that definitely does get there. But I feel like if he's getting there, Josh is getting there. But I get where Crutches is going with this. Maybe he thinks, okay, Bills are going to be ahead this game. Mahomes is going to be playing from behind. Because as you can see, he is taking Mahomes there in the second round. Mahomes fell quite a ways. I'm kind of surprised he fell as far as he did. I did not expect him to go this far down. But we will see. Amon-Ra St. Brown going to Albertson 847. Kind of the best receiver available here. I know ETR has Amon-Ra a little bit lower than that projection. They have Pittman ahead of him, Mike Evans, Diggs, Jefferson, and Keenan Allen all ahead of Amon-Ra, and Jamar Chase just behind him. So it kind of surprises me in the fact that he does go this early. Maybe he doesn't use projections. Maybe he uses his own. Maybe, there's a lot of different things that could be factoring into this. I don't know who Albertson 847 is. I'm still fairly new to the community as far as that goes. But I do think this is a fairly good draft as far as balancing and going throughout. But we'll get to the rest of the room here in a second. Josh Allen, number 8. Not much to talk about there. Mike Evans, probably my second most drafted receiver this week. Love the matchup against Atlanta. And he's just a target hog, honestly. Same with Pittman. I love his team, A-Train 460. The start of his team, phenomenal start, getting Mike Evans and Michael Pittman. He's getting 2 of the top 5 receivers, according to ETR. I genuinely love the start. And I kind of love how it ended for him. Going back to this, Jamar Chase. I think Jamar's fine for this week. I don't think he's like a super exciting play. You're not thrilled about getting him, but he is the best available here. And I'm not going to sit here and, harp on this too much, but I do think he is the better play here. Deebo Samuel against the Seahawks this week. Once again, same thing I said about McCaffrey in a way. I do think this is a good matchup for Deebo as well. Deebo's in a good spot here to smash as well. We just don't know which 49ers receiver is going to go off. If it's up to me personally, I am taking the guy who is going the latest, which in this case, it is Brandon Ayuk or George Kittle. I have a lot of Ayuk and a lot of Kittle. ETR also prefers Brandon Ayuk to Deebo Samuel. So that's another thing to keep in mind as well. I personally have been taking a lot of Brandon Ayuk in the the Battle Royale streaks this week. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. I think Deebo went way too early here, personally, but that's just me. Zach Moss going at the 12 spot. Most people are probably looking at this like, wow, the third running back off the board is Zach Moss. And then the next guy is Joe Mixon off the board. Like, what is happening in this room? I'm kind of curious. I would like to hear the strategy behind this, because I get the Zach Moss pick. I don't necessarily get the Mixon one, though. because I feel like Mixon, you could have taken Jacobs or Bijan. I prefer both of those guys. I even prefer Kyren Williams to Joe Mixon. So it's interesting to me that this is kind of what they came up with here. Not a huge fan of it, but it is what it is. Zach Moss, though, has a good matchup this week. Same with Michael Pittman against the Bengals. I do think it's a pretty good game. It's a game that could potentially be high scoring. We'll see what happens there. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for here, is to see a good matchup from Zach Moss. I don't have a ton of them, though, so I've kind of been trying to get my exposures up to him and go with it that way. But, we'll see what happens there. I'm going to play this real quick here. Give me just a second. I will be right back. This is kind of just us viewing the board. Let me play this real quick. Give me a 30-second break here real quick. All right, so I had to be right back just for a second there. Anyways, so we finished the first round, and we're kind of on to the second round here. DJ Moore, I'm not a fan of Beretta James's draft, and typically I do like what Beretta James does, so that kind of is a little odd to me. I have not been on DJ Moore this week hardly at all. I've not really been on Debo much this week at all. I think they're both very overpriced. ETR kind of agrees with me as well. They have him down here with Devontae Adams. I get where you're going with the Lions game potentially, but I personally, I just am not looking there right now. I'm not a huge fan of the DJ Moore pick. I get the Lions have been vulnerable the last couple weeks, so that is a route maybe he is taking here. I personally, I don't know. He's there and I'm not, so he probably knows a little bit more than I do. So, we'll put it that way. I'm not a huge fan of the Beretta James thing right here at all. I think it's interesting. I don't like it though, personally. Moving on to Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs pick here with Jamar Chase. I do like that. I don't think he gets any Vikings as a bring back, so there's that bit of information. I do think Josh Jacobs is probably a top 3 play this week for me. I think he's my most owned guy in general this week. So I do really like Josh Jacobs this week against the Vikings. I think they keep the game close. And on top of that, I think they feed Josh Jacobs like they typically do every week. Ever since they've changed the coordinators there and the coaching staff there, Josh Jacobs has gotten quite a bit more looks, a lot more consistency there as far as the workload goes. And he's gotten a lot of red zone looks. So I like Josh Jacobs quite a bit. We already talked about Michael Pittman. I'm going to kind of go a little bit faster here because we got 3 drafts to break down here. Mike Evans, Michael Pittman, good start there. Bijan Robinson, I do like Bijan as well. Bijan's one of my favorite plays this week as well in a good matchup against Tampa Bay, who could potentially keep this game close. But I do think this game could potentially also be a shootout. We're looking for Bijan to be getting 15 to 20 carries in this game if you're taking him in the second round here, as EDN is. And getting some receiving volume as well. Look at him to punch it in the end zone as well. So that's kind of what you're looking at there for Bijan Robinson. TJ Hawkinson here, going ahead of Sam Laporta and George Kittle. I don't love that at all. I despise that with Justin Jefferson back this week. This whole Vikings offense to me is a little odd. I don't know really how to treat it. So I'm not a huge fan of taking TJ Hawkinson here. That feels early to me. But it's a matter of going to get their guys, I guess. Mahomes there next at 19. Like I said, I was kind of surprised Mahomes fell this far. Devontae Adams at pick 20. Adams and Jefferson, who would have thought at the beginning of the season you'd be getting Devontae in the second round of any BR draft or any 12-man draft as far as that goes? I sure wouldn't. But Devontae Adams, decent matchup this week also against the Vikings. I prefer Jacobs to Adams, but I have gotten a little bit of Adams as well. I do like the Vegas Raiders this week against the Vikings. I think that's a good little game there if you want to play that game. Moving on, Kyren Williams. Bad weather is projected for this game. I do think that bodes well in Kyron's favor. So I do love the pick there from Dave as well. Good volume pick there. I do think he's going to get a lot of the work. As far as putting the ball in the air, it's a little iffy for the Rams as far as what they're going to do there. The Ravens are obviously favored in this game, and the Ravens like to run the ball. So I have a feeling this could be maybe, I don't want to say a low-scoring game, but it could be a game that all the points come on the ground, and I could definitely see that being the case here with Kyren Williams. Chris Olave projects well on ETR. If you guys didn't see the ETR rankings as well, I hate to keep referencing this, but he does project better than Ayuk, and he does project right under Jamar Chase, which is interesting. They're about the same. You kind of just take your pick here of who you prefer. I personally would prefer Ayuk, but that's me. I do like the Olave pick. He has been ruled in this week, healthy, ready to go. I do like Olave quite a bit. Moving on to Ayuk, we just kind of talked about him and touched on him a little bit with Debo. I prefer Ayuk to Debo just because you can get him so much later. I can only imagine that Joka was probably wanting to get the Ayuk Purdy stack. That's just my guess. I don't know what was running through his head here. I have no idea, nor will I know, probably until afterward of this contest. But I do talk to Joka quite a bit in the Badge Bros Discord, so I do know Joka. Maybe we can get him on the show 1 week and have him break it down a little bit, see kind of what his thought process was in the draft room. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. But anyways, he does go Justin Fields, Sam Laporta here. Like I said, he does kind of get the same game here, so that's cool. I've done this a few times in the Battle Royale world. I do like that quite a bit, getting Justin Fields and pairing him up with Laporta. I think Laporta's floor is a little bit higher, and for this contest, I feel like that's a little bit better. And also his ceiling is a lot higher, I feel like, too. We saw it last week with Laporta just absolutely going off last week. And I like the Laporta pick here. We do see Austin Ravens fan do get the Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk stack. Good play there. I really do like the play. Not much else to say there other than I do like Brock Purdy this week. All he's pretty much hoping for, though, is the Seahawks can keep the game somewhat competitive, and we don't see just McCaffrey win it for him on the ground and go crazy on the ground. Super crazy anyways, let's say. There is no Elijah Mitchell this week, so McCaffrey's probably going to be getting the bulk of the work. We could see Jordan Mason as well this week, so maybe not a lot, but I'm not a huge Jordan Mason guy either, so, go with that with what it is. Lamar Jackson here, 303, interesting pick. Feels a little bit early for me, but I do get why you're going here because you see Purdy go and you're like, oh crap, I'm scrambling for a quarterback. You want to make sure you get one. Lamar's the guy. I do love Lamar. He's probably my second or third most owned quarterback outside of that Bills-Chiefs game. I do think it gets a little bit sloppy towards the bottom here as well. There are some good plays, but I just don't know that there's that many good plays. Eckler Keenan building the Chargers kind of aura here. He doesn't get a Denver bring back, which is kind of interesting to me because we always are preaching bringbacks. And it seems like bringbacks have been kind of the way to win this year. I think this is a contest where you don't necessarily have to have bringbacks, though. So that is good to know as well. I don't think that necessarily the bringback is something that he was seeking out. That's what a lot of these players seem to be talking about, is they weren't really like seeking it out. But if it happened to fall to their lap, then they'll take it. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. We're going to quit going kind of team, but we're going to go team by team here now and kind of just break down the whole team as a whole. Woo Doggy, Rachaad White, James Cook, Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson, Russell Wilson, Cole Kmet. We have Denver. We have a little bit of bringbacks here. Minnesota, Devontae. We have the same game there. Tampa Bay. We have kind of a one-off. James Cook. We wanted to get some action involved in the big scoring game of the week. Russell Wilson against the Chargers, vulnerable secondary. And Cole Kmet against Detroit, who has been vulnerable as well. Not a bad team here. Like I said, this is the board for board number 1. I'm going to kind of just quickly break down, show you guys all this. I do think my favorite team has to be either A-Train's team or Crutches' team. I don't love the Jerick McKinnon pick at all. I think he was hoping for CEH and didn't get him. I think. I don't know that for sure. But I would be hoping for CEH if this is what I wanted to play. I do also really like Dave's team. I don't like Naked Golf necessarily. I think a sneaky good team is Joka's as well. Because I like Drake London's matchup this week. He just has to hope it's not a Kyle Pitts week. But I also like, A-Train has him there too. So like that's kind of why I like A-Train's team so much. I think A-Train got the best team of the bunch. And he has Gardner Minshew at quarterback. So, that's just kind of my opinion. I do kind of like EDN's team as well. I'm not a big Likely guy. I probably would have went Pitts. I probably would have went Njoku over Likely. ETR, we'll kind of look at what ETR has. But they're all very similar as far as points projected goes, ceiling-wise. 14.1 here for Isaiah Likely. Then you got Kyle Pitts at 14.3 and Njoku at 14.7. Ingram at 14.1. So they're all very similar in where they check out at. I personally just would prefer Kyle Pitts or David Njoku. Probably Njoku over the rest of them, but that's where I stand. So that's draft board number 1. Let's move on to draft board number 2. We do have CG, Curick, EDN again, CR Blake, JD, WWD, J Josh, Mike C, Copper Prices, Two Gun, Crutches again, Cognition, LOL Hot Dogs, and Ethan 33 Brinkman. Pretty stoked room here. So we do see CG gets Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy, Sam Laporta as his big 3. So he kind of does what Joka does a little bit here and gets Laporta, but he also goes Purdy and pairs him up with McCaffrey. So that's cool to see that he kind of gets that pairing as well with Purdy and McCaffrey. Chuba Hubbard here going ahead of guys such as Javonte Williams, Travis Etienne leading into the Panthers. I don't know how much I love that play at all. I don't know if that's a tough one for me because they're playing the Saints and the Saints are vulnerable, but like I don't know, man. I'm not a big Chuba guy at all this week. To see him be going Chuba in the 4th, though, seems a little bit of a stretch to me. Puka Nacua in the 5th, Josh Downs rounding it out there. Not a bad team overall. I personally don't really like the Chuba pick at all. Moving on to the next team, we got Kelsey, Ayuk, Lamar Jackson, Drake London, Cooper Kupp, Jerome Ford. This draft got gritty. I can tell. I like the picks. I do like this team. I like the Lamar kind of as a one-off guy. They got a Cooper Kupp as a bring back. I do like that. You have the Atlanta game getting a pass catcher in there as well. I do like Drake London, like I said this week. Ayuk is the guy who I'd prefer over anybody else on this 49er team, just because he's probably the last guy to go outside of Kittle. Kittle's about the only other guy that goes this late. So I do like getting Travis Kelce this week. I think his ceiling is just so much higher than everybody else's. It's crazy. And in a room like this, the only other guy that can really match that ceiling is George Kittle. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I really like his team. It's not a bad look of a team. Moving on here to EDN. I like EDN's second team much, much better. Josh Allen, Joe Mixon, Dalton Kincaid as a stack there in that game. Javonte Williams, Chris Godwin. I like Chris Godwin in the 5th quite a bit. That seems like a huge discount for Chris Godwin. Obviously, I do know he has not been very good. And I keep going to the well of Chris Godwin. I think he's a great play. Baker's been feeding Mike Evans, and I get that is a thing. But I also think this game is going to be very pass heavy. I do like the Chris Godwin play this week. Jerry Jeudy, that's an interesting one. Does get a double Denver team here, which is really interesting to me. I guess that's just picking on the Chargers. I do like that in a way. I am a Denver fan, so I do like the fact that he does pick on the Chargers. Personally, though, I don't know how I feel about it, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see. It is what it is. I do like the team overall, though. It's not as bad as I initially thought it was going to be. Keenan Allen here at 4. Bijan Robinson, Rashad White, Evan Ingram, Russell Wilson as a bring back from the Keenan Allen pick, and Elijah Moore kind of as a one-off here. I do like the Elijah Moore and Evan Ingram kind of tandem here. I did this in a BR once. I do know I did this exact tandem in the last 2 rounds. So to see it done in a 12-teamer is interesting too. Evan Ingram projects pretty well, and we'll see if Trevor Lawrence plays. It looks like he's going to go though, so that is a huge upgrade for Evan Ingram as well. Nobody took Trevor Lawrence in this contest, which I get it. It's a very risky thing to do, but if you could take Trevor Lawrence down here in the 6th, let's check that real quick before I kind of go off on my tangent here. Let's check that. Is Trevor Lawrence going to be in this week? Listed probable. Probably will be a game time decision. Okay, so a game time decision. If you go into this last round, right, and you don't have a quarterback, and you're looking at Desmond Ridder, Baker Mayfield, Matthew Stafford, game time decision, Geno Smith. I mean, I'll be honest with you here. I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence, and I am smiling from ear to ear. I don't care if it's against Cleveland. I'm smiling ear to ear, and I'm just taking the talent here. That's just me, though, because if we swap, we play the little swap equity here, you can start to project out which one you like better between Baker and Desmond Ridder, or Matthew Stafford if he's there. Geno Smith gets ruled in. That all factors into this. And I don't know that anybody even took the chance on Trevor Lawrence. I don't think they did, which is interesting. So yeah, that's kind of interesting to me. I don't know that that's what I would have done, though. That's just me, though. It's interesting. It's definitely an interesting look. But anyways, I'm surprised nobody took Trevor Lawrence this week. It is what it is, though. Overall, this board looks pretty solid. Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson. That's really interesting. CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, Adam Thielen, James Cook. So he didn't even get the bring back. He thinks the Vikings offense is going to go against that Raiders defense and kind of go nuts, I guess, is the play there. I do get it, but I'm not a huge fan. I love Copper Price's duo here of Diggs, Pittman, and then getting Monty on the bring back there as well. Cortland Sutton. Yeah, I really like this team. This has been my favorite team I've seen so far. I know Dobbs is pretty ugly, but he's saying, okay, Josh Dobbs is going to be running the ball. He'll get there from his rushing upside. Let's hope for the best. I do like that pick quite a bit. We see Mahomes go at 12 here. Fields going at 6. I didn't notice that until just now. Fields going at 6 is just insane. Absolutely insane. Keaton Mitchell getting picked. I get the Keaton Mitchell thing, I guess, but not too much in particularly. I don't know really what we're seeing in Keaton Mitchell, but maybe I'm just crazy. Mahomes at 12 seems interesting. Mike Evans, Mahomes, Gabe Davis. I do like that. And he built out this Jacksonville-Cleveland game. This might be one of my favorite teams. I think this is probably my favorite team I've seen so far. Because I really like what pieces he has here with Mike Evans, Gabe Davis. ETN is going to get the volume here, guys. And I feel like ETN is a great play. Njoku, one of my better tight end plays, and Calvin Ridley. I think I really like this team. You can get the Jacksonville stack almost free, which is crazy. Because you could get Lawrence for free. You could get Etienne for free. You can get Calvin Ridley for free. You could get most of those Browns receivers for free. So that whole game is interesting. I think Copper Prices and Ethan are kind of my two favorite teams here. So we're going to move on to the last board here and kind of show it off here. Nez, Crash Rich, NF42, Sacrilegious, Copper Prices as well. This room here, This room is guys who know what they're doing. Let's go look at Nez's team. I'm kind of curious to see this. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Fields, James Cook, Cole Kmet, Keaton Mitchell in the 5th over. Interesting. Okay. Wow. All right. Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers. One time for the Jacoby Myers pick. I do like Jacoby Myers, though. In a game environment that should be pretty decently scoring, I would think. So I do like the Jacoby Myers pick as well. Kelsey falling all the way to 8. That's interesting. Zach Moss going at 6. Wow. Okay. He's also high on Chuba Hubbard. Am I missing something with Chuba Hubbard? I don't know what I'm missing here. Chuba Hubbard, he's up there with Jerome Ford, Jahmyr Gibbs, Etienne. I'm not a huge fan of Chuba Hubbard. I'm not doing that for 200 grand. I'm just not. Kincaid in the 5th. Titans got pushed down quite a bit. Titans got pushed down a lot in this room, so that's interesting. I don't know. Diggs, Pittman, Jacobs, Rice, Goff, and Njoku. The only thing I don't love is Jared Goff naked. I don't love that, but it's a good floor play at quarterback. So I get it. But I'm not a huge fan of it. So, hang on. Let me respond to this real quick. Okay. Anyways, Jake Browning in the 4th here. That feels early to me. Pairing him up with 2 Bengals. I don't love that either. I don't love that either. I love the start, though. I'm not a huge fan of where he ended up with this draft. Tanner Hudson. Ouch. NF, in my opinion, actually has one of the better drafts. I know he was in the stream the other day. I think NF ended up with one of the better draft rooms. As far as what he ended up with. Kamara, Purdy, Nico, Cooper Kupp, Bear, Brock Purdy, man. That's what we're doing in these rooms. I love it, though. Let's see. Kittle at pick 23. Keenan, Kittle, Lamar, Zay Flowers. He paired up Lamar and Zay. Breece Hall and Chris Godwin in the 6'11". Wow. Chris Godwin in the 6'11 is nuts. That's just nuts. But anyways, those are the boards that we saw. Another cool little tidbit here that I didn't realize. Before the draft started, Underdog put out a tweet that says the first person to guess the ADP of Rashee Rice across the 3 drafts wins Underdog credit. So me being me, I'm a big Rashee Rice guy, guys. Huge Rashee Rice guy. My best ball portfolio, he's the most owned guy. So my thought process behind this was Mahomes was going to go around 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. And that's kind of where I just planted my flag and said, there's where he's going to go. So if we scroll up a little bit here, we look at board 1. Rashee Rice goes at the 409. Board 2, he goes at the 409 again. Board number 3, he goes at the 405. If we calculate the average here, let's get the calculator at. We got the 405 plus the 409 plus the 409. Oh, shoot. Let's do this. All right. So we got 1223. Divide that by 3. That is the 407 draft spot on average there. So we happen to nail that right on the money, which is interesting. So yeah, that was cool. We'll see if Underdog actually puts money in my account. We'll see. But anywho, we're gonna rip some BRs real quick and start drafting a little bit here. I only have a little bit more that I can do, so we're gonna go ahead and go to our draft screen here. We got the 101, so that's interesting. We have a lot of no badges here. All the badges are out partying in Miami right now, so you know what? We got it. All right. Here, hold on. Let me put my link in here, and then they can do whatever they want to do with it. Hold on. Let me put my link in this chat real quick, and they can do whatever they want. Okay. So we got McCaffrey. Well, if people start to join back and they want to see the Dog Bowl drafts again, we could pull them up again and kind of review them again. I'm cool with it. Either way, so I'm cool with doing whatever. I know a lot of the badge bros are kind of out partying right now, so a lot of those guys are out living the life in Miami. So lucky them, but we are here taking full-fledged advantage of them not being here. So, you know what I mean? You know what I mean. But I think there were some good drafts, though. Overall, I think my favorite one, if I had to choose my absolute favorite, it's either Copper Price's team right here. I love this team. I absolutely love this team. Either Copper Prices. Let's see. Getting this stack of Mahomes Kelsey in a 12-teamer is nuts. I like that a lot. I love NF42's draft as well. The only thing I don't love about NF42's is the Jared Goff naked. That's really about it. There's some interesting plays in here. I don't know if you guys have seen all the boards yet. I just went over them. If you guys are just not getting in here, but I don't know. There's some interesting plays, definitely. I am curious to see how this Chuba Hubbard pick pans out for the people that took him in the 4th round. I'm anxious to see that because Chuba was not even on my radar, like, at all this week. And to see him getting taken by Chris and, like, Lee, I don't know how to feel about it. Chuba has not been on my radar whatsoever. So that's one thought that I have that I really am just not sure how to feel. Anyways, okay, so we got McCaffrey. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Mike Evans here. And I do like the George Kittle play. I like the Ayuk play, so we're gonna go Ayuk. Get some 49ers going here. I'm a big Ayuk proponent. I love Ayuk. So we'll see kind of what else we got here falling to us. We'll go to the board as well. We'll go back and look at the draft board as well. So I'm curious. I do want to look at this again. I'm real curious, though. Why I still am real curious. Is Trevor Lawrence in or out this week? Like, has there been an official ruling yet? I totally botched that spelling, by the way. I know it said game time decision, but, like, Trevor Lawrence questionable. Has there been any news come out with Trevor yet? They did sign a quarterback, it looks like. Remains roster option. So Nathan Rourke, I don't know who that is. So that's interesting. He does remain an option. CJ Beathard. I don't know if they've elevated him to the active roster yet or not. Signed to Jacksonville Jaguars, active roster. Okay. So they have signed him to the active roster. That kind of leads me to believe that Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be playing. It's going to be close, though. I'll be curious to see kind of where what that situation ends up being. Purdy's already off the board here. Takes a naked Purdy. Or nope, he takes him with Kittle. Okay. Not a bad pick there. We'll go ahead and go Zach Moss. Because I do want to see a little bit more here. And let's see. I'm not going to go Lamar Jackson here. We are going to go ahead and get Kincaid on the flip here. Actually, you know what? We're going to get unique here. I think we're going to go ahead and... Where is he? We're going to go ahead and take Baker. Pair him up with Mike Evans. We'll see who falls to us here on the flip. I haven't really built any like Falcon stacks yet either, so that's one thing that I haven't done. I am curious to kind of see here. I know Crutches is kind of talking in the Discord right now. Let's see. His first team, Jamar Chase, Zach Moss, Devontae Adams, Rashee Rice, Jake Browning, Tyler Conklin. See, if it was me, I almost like this team better than his second team. No, that was his second team. Okay. So his first team was this team. Okay. His first team was getting Mahomes in the second. Yeah. Yeah, this team was really good. This is probably actually my favorite team. Other than McKinnon. I'm not a huge McKinnon guy. I don't think there was really a need to do this, but I get it. I mean, let's see. Is Chris Godwin available? Yeah, so Chris Godwin went undrafted in this room, which is interesting because that's probably who I would have went with instead of McKinnon. That's me though. You know, he's clearly there and I'm not, so but I get it. I do get the stacking portion of it. I do get it. What's up, GA? How we doing, man? How we doing? Welcome in. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. How we doing? How we doing? Getting in some BR drafts right before the well, I guess not right before, but while everybody's out that are badges, we'll put it that way. Have you had a chance to look at the boards yet, GA? From Dog Bowl? They looked pretty they look good. They look good. Some of our guys did well in the Badge Bros Discord. You know, I have a few favorites, and one of them just so happens to be Crutches' team. So that's interesting. Do we go Kincaid here? Or do we get really weird? We get the bring back, man. We get weird. All right. Anyways, I'll show you my favorites, and you can kind of tell me which ones you liked. This room, I definitely like Crutches' team. I think Crutches' team is probably one of my favorites in the whole thing. This one, anyways. I also really like Dave's team quite a bit. I don't like the Cade Otton pick, but I'm sure there's probably not very many options left. So, I get it. I'm not I like Joka's team. I probably wouldn't have went Thielen, but I do like the team quite a bit. I'm kind of looking through this real quick here. Good here, just watching hockey, and no, I just took a quick glance at Nez's team. I knew he was high on Keaton. The Keaton Mitchell thing, I'm on the same boat. You know, I'm not really understanding the Keaton Mitchell hype, I guess. You know, bad weather, so I get that part. You know, Gus Edwards still exists. I get that part too. And I don't know. I haven't been able to get behind the whole Keaton Mitchell thing, even though we share the same first name. So he's bound for greatness. But I don't know. I haven't gotten behind this whole Keaton Mitchell thing. I would have rather taken Etienne. I would have much rather taken Etienne than Keaton Mitchell. Purely off of volume alone, I would have been taking Travis Etienne. That's just me, though. I'm also real curious as to why nobody, like literally nobody, took a shot, just a shot at Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence plays against the Browns, some of these guys might be smacking themselves that they didn't pick Trevor Lawrence. I know it's not likely, but you also, like, if you're in the last round and you're debating, like, I don't know. Let me look at the last round picks. Like Matthew Stafford or something like that. Like, wouldn't you at least want to try? Then you could at least give yourself some swap pick equity. I don't know how the swap picks work exactly, but I feel like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just, I don't know. Maybe I'm just optimistic that Trevor Lawrence plays. I don't know. But I don't know. That's how I feel. Like, I would want to take a shot at Trevor Lawrence. It's a way to get unique and get a potential QB1 that has a very high ceiling in the last round. Maybe my thought process sucks. I don't know. Maybe it just sucks. I don't know. But that's kind of where my brain first went when I looked at these, was like, if that's the route that I would want to be going. Maybe I'm just crazy. You can tell me in the comments if I'm crazy, but. And if he gets ruled out, then none of it matters. None of it matters. But that was just me trying to get unique at quarterback. I wish I was watching the NBA tournament right now. I have no idea who's winning that. This is really cool, though, that they had this. Hold on. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me see if I can get it real quick. This is kind of cool how they had this set up. This is really cool how they had this set up. I like this a lot. So they screen shared it on the board, which is interesting. Yeah, I like how they had this set up. This was cool. This was definitely cool. Let's see, what room is this? Is this the room where they took Justin Fields in the 6th, or for the 6th pick? So yeah, there was a room that Justin Fields would pick 6, which was interesting. I haven't really seen much else on this yet. Let's see. Yeah, I haven't really seen a whole lot else on Twitter yet, but it looked like a really neat contest. I really wish I would have gotten to go. I think it would have been fun. Definitely would have been fun. See, so we got Kamara falling to 4. Keenan at 2. Everybody's starting to take Keenan now early, now that the drafts have come out. Got a little bit of a stuffed up nose. Not feeling the best, but we're still here. Can you guys hear the music okay? Or is it just me literally listening to the music? I have it on pretty quietly, so just trying to keep some low key kind of music on, just to chill, hang out. If you guys want, we can rip off a 12 man. I haven't done very many of those at all. I've mainly been in the BR world. If you couldn't tell by my team count. I've mainly been in the BR world. I did one goal line stand, and that was with Nez and them. So, yeah. Everyone is getting sick. It's kind of like this weird bug. I don't know what it is, but like my nose is like so clogged up, and it's just annoying at this point. And I'm kind of just ready. I'm just over it. Luckily, though, I have a lot of PTO coming up, so that's good. But yeah, that part is good. We're gonna make sure we get the stack here. I know we're reaching for it a little, but I want to make sure we get it. I haven't really built a lot with Devo, so I'm kind of trying to get Devo up my boards a little bit more. Same with Zach Moss. I don't know what you guys' ownerships are looking like this week. Mine are... I'll kind of share my exposures here real quickly. So this is kind of what mine are looking like at quarterback. We'll start with quarterback anyways. Most exposures are Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Fields, Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Josh Dobbs. We have some sprinkles in of other people as well. Moving on to running back. This was before I had him at like 23% early in the week. Obviously, haven't been drafting him a lot. Gonna have to do some pick swaps here for maybe James Cook. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards, or Rashee Rice. Kind of depends on the build. But here's the receivers. Have a lot of receivers this week above the field. So we'll see what happens here. But this is kind of where I stand right now. Tight end wise, or flag planting our tight ends here. I'm going Kittle, Kelsey, Kincaid, a little bit of Laporta. We're pretty much out on Hawkinson. So Hawkinson burns us. Hawkinson burns us. I don't think he's going to, but we'll see. Not a big Hawkinson guy this week at all. But like I said, we'll see. Might be able to get Ayuk here and just go full-fledged Niner team, which would be interesting. I don't think that would take down a BR, but maybe. Kind of caps out my ceilings here. Justin Fields goes off the board. Probably look at Zach Moss and then a DK bring back. We might get extra weird and go Jackson Smith and Jigba, because I'm trying to get a little bit unique here with most of my teams now, because at this point I have so many teams that I'm just trying to get guys that I know I don't have exposure to, or much exposure to, I guess is the better wording. Could also go Laporta. That's probably what I'm going to do, is Laporta Moss on this back-to-back here. Of course he goes Moss. That sucks. It is what it is, I guess. I guess this means we'll probably go Josh Jacobs. Actually, we'll go Mixon. Take ourselves a little Joe Mixon here. I need a little bit more of him too. So I think he fits the build too. Kind of with where we're going with it anyways. Because now we need a receiver, and I think we could probably, if we really wanted to get unique, we could go get Josh Downs. I'm not going that deep. I think Jackson Smith and Jigba's pretty deep as it stands. I don't know that I'm willing to go Josh Downs. He hasn't really had a good week in a bit now. Where does ETR have Josh Downs? I'm curious. It is a good matchup for him, though. Yeah, they have Josh Downs right here. Where do they have JSN? They have JSN 2 points projected less. Maybe it is better to go Josh Downs. Get a little bit more unique as far as the bringbacks go, and just say forget the bringback here and go Josh Downs. I do like that a little bit more, but let's see. Yeah, I think that's what we're probably going to do. DK Metcalf goes at pick 505. Jesus Christ, my nose. Josh Jacobs going in round 5 is interesting. Did ETR update their stuff to where Jacobs kind of went down? Not really. I mean, he's still the 5th running back off the board, or what should be the 5th running back off the board. So that's really interesting to me. I like Josh Jacobs quite a bit this week. Maybe that comes back and bites me in my butt. I don't know. But I feel really good about Jacobs this week. Let's see who this guy takes. I love Olave this week too, just because of where he's going in drafts, and his projection is so high. It's so high. So I do like that play too. And Olave goes off the board. I kind of figured Olave wasn't going to make it back to me. But it is what it is. I'm kind of curious to see how much Olave I have after this. I need to check that because I think Olave is a really good pick this week. All right. Let's go look and take a peek real quick here. And see kind of where my Olave exposure is. Haven't set those yet. Need to set those. 8.5%. I thought it would be higher than this, to be honest. I needed to get a little bit higher. Not much, but just a little. I would like to get to at least 11% of him if I can. I don't think I'm going to max this week, but I'll probably get to like 135 or so. We'll do one more draft, rip it off here on stream, and then we'll call it a stream. Like I said, if you guys are new here, make sure y'all smash the like button, subscribe, turn on the little bell for notifications. I'd appreciate it greatly. Also, if y'all want to drop a follow over my Twitter, that's where I upload when I'm going live. So if you guys want to also go over there and, drop a follow, be greatly appreciated. I'll kind of pop it up here real quick. So this is kind of where we're at. You can see, kind of been uploading quite a bit of football stuff here. You're going to get some sub plays in here. So I am an Angels fan, so you're probably seeing a little bit of baseball too today. It's been rough this past couple weeks. This week or two has been really rough. We'll put it that way. So I also do some 2K content, NBA 2K. That is pretty much formerly where I'm mainly coming from. I'm transitioning over into the real sports world. So if you guys are new here, like I said, it's kind of a little bit about myself and where I've been. Also, if you guys want to see something sad as well, you can see the franchise I support in the basketball world. Didn't finish it off last year, but they made it there, and that's a lot farther than I expected them to get. So it is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is. There's only so much you can control, and the team made it a lot farther than I thought they would. So that's the beauty of the game in itself. So it is what it is. We're going Keenan Allen here. Give me some Keenan. Give me some Amon-Ra. I'm okay with that. I'm not a guy either that really sets the rankings before the week either on this. I just kind of pick who I think fits what I want as far as exposures go. Jefferson Diggs. We are going to go ahead and go Amon-Ra here. It's not unique, but it is nonetheless something that I do like to start out with. But yeah, $700 million for Shohei today. That was kind of crazy to see. I don't know if you guys are in the baseball world at all, but that was kind of nuts to see. I've kind of already done some best ball MLB drafts, so I'm kind of in the streets a little bit there. Not a ton, but a little bit. Enough to say I kind of have an idea of what things are going on over there. It's interesting that they gave him that much and that long. But I get it because it's very profitable either way they go about it. And I like it. I'm glad Ohtani finally gets a chance to win. So that's the one thing that I am happy for him for, is he does get a chance to go win now. So that is cool. But I hate the fact that he had to leave the Angels. I absolutely hate it. I wish he didn't have to, but he did. Let's see. Kind of looking through Twitter here to see if there's any updates on anything. There's so many pages that just pop up on my page, but I don't know. I'm glad he didn't see. This is probably me just being me and selfish. I almost wish he would have went to the Jays, to be honest. I would have preferred it, I think. You know, I'm in Indiana, so like being an Angels fan in Indiana is weird anyways, so I don't really see the LA rivalry firsthand. But however, I don't really love the fact that I know he's like literally 30 minutes from the Angels Stadium, and we're probably going to win an astounding 60 games this season. That's a slight stretch, but I don't know. It's not looking pretty right now. Put it that way. It's not looking pretty. So we're going to go win this thing off of receivers here. See what we can do. I haven't really built a lot of teams that are just stud receivers. I think I would have preferred him on the Jays though, because like all that young talent they have there, Vladdy, Bo Bichette, I think it could have got real interesting real fast. This is kind of feeling like a golf team. I do need to export my exposures out, my teams anyways, to make sure I'm not like duping teams. I do need to do that, but just can't stand Toronto. Yeah, I will agree with you there on that one. I have a few friends that I play like online with that are Toronto fans, and they live in Canada. Yeah, them not getting him today has kind of made them unmanageably like annoying. So I totally get you there. I totally get you there. Real quickly though, I do want to show this real quick. I did do this today. I haven't been keeping track of this all season. My best ball advance rates. I wanted to quickly bring this up. I'm probably gonna have a show on this all entirely. I do wish they looked a little better, but here's your totals right now. Not bad, especially Best Ball Mania. I only have a 14% advance rate right now. It's not good. Like this was like 28% 3 weeks ago, and I just keep getting injuries happening, like left and right. It's just injury after injury after injury, bye week. It's been rough. You know, but you know, we live and we learn. This is my first year doing best ball, so doing something like this is a whole new experience for me, and it's definitely been a challenge to learn, but I've kind of enjoyed the challenge, to be honest. It's new. It's something that I've never done, so it's definitely something that I've enjoyed. Oh, we're on the clock. Let's go get on the, let's go fix the clock issue before we go nuts here. Okay, we'll go Mixon. Quarterbacks are here. I use ETR kind of as like a tiebreaker sometimes. You know, Herbert, Russ, Browning. Herbert's going to project much better. I think we're going to go Herbert. Go a little J Herb. Pair him up with Keenan. Hope for the best. That works for me. But anyways, so back to this. We are going to have a show kind of going over these teams. I will say I did order them in the advance rates. Obviously, the smaller ones are kind of advancing a little bit more. The Puppy 3 was kind of rough. This kind of also indicates where I'm best at. And I knew this coming in because I play a lot of Superflex contests. My Superflex teams are pretty much all bordering making it or making it. So that's interesting to see. I think the Superflex contests is where I shine. So maybe that's where I stick. I don't know. BBM, I didn't shine very well this year in BBM. I won't lie. I did not shine very well at all in BBM this year. It is what it is. I do think, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the site or not, but BBMDB, you will be able to sweat the leaderboards, but I will go ahead and pull this up real quick here. Show you guys kind of what I'm looking at here. We do have four teams in the top 10,000. This one will probably be in there. I've had 5 teams pretty consistently in the top 10,000. This one's been in the top 1,000 along with this team as well. They've both been in the top 1,000. So we'll kind of see how it goes. This is the team, kind of what it's looking like. Lamar, Dak, Ritter, Bijan, Rashad White, Raheem Mostert, Kenneth Gainwell, Gus Edwards, CeeDee Lamb, DeAndre Hopkins, Marquise Brown, Mike Evans, Rashad Bateman, Nico Collins, Mecole Hardman, Pat Freiermuth, Dalton Schultz, Irv Smith. My best team, Trevor Lawrence, Matthew Stafford, Kyler Murray, Travis Etienne, James Conner, Alvin Kamara, Devin Singletary, Kyron Williams, A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Christian Kirk, Romeo Doubs, Juju Smith-Schuster, Puka Nacua, Tyler Higbee, Sam Laporta, and Luke Musgrave. Finally, we get a good week from Juju, at least good enough to where I can say it might be usable this week. I really wish – I've looked at that Juju team for a while now, and I wish that I could get rid of the Juju team, but I can't. So it is what it is. But I just kind of wanted to briefly touch on this. I do want to have a show over this some point next week, kind of discussing in depth what my rosters look like. Maybe after – the Monday night games, we can go Tuesday or Wednesday and kind of have a show discussing best ball playoffs as a whole. I haven't gotten to do that many best ball playoff contests yet. Probably not going to do a ton personally. So, take that for what it is. Take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today. I appreciate everybody coming to hang out with me tonight. If you guys are new here, I'll end it off with this. Make sure y'all smash the like button, subscribe, drop a comment for how I can maybe bring you guys better content. I do want to have a lot of off-season stuff for football. I also kind of do some basketball stuff. I'm going to dip into the basketball world again here pretty soon. So let me know what I can do, that you guys would want to see. Shows that might not be out there as of right now. There's a lot of different things that are out there, so I do know that. Maybe there's a hole in the industry that I can fill. And kind of provide you guys with a good little bit of content there in that regard. I do want to get some guests on at some point. Maybe we can get some Dog Bowl guys on. I know that a lot of them are in the Discord. So maybe I invite a couple of them on and see what we can get set up. But anyway, guys, I will see you all later. Happy Sunday. Good luck in Battle Royale. Good luck in your 12-team goal line stands. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.